Push a power system hard enough, and the electrical friction inside the wires turns into catastrophic heat, causing the outer insulation to blister and melt. In the DIY solar community, the standard way to test a setup is by plugging a 1500-watt electric kettle into a 2000-watt inverter, running off a standard 12-volt battery. Viewers watch to see if the water boils or if the inverter shuts down. It is evaluated as a simple pass or fail test, judged entirely by whether the inverter's alternating current, or AC, rating is high enough to handle the appliance. But focusing on the AC output ignores the input side of the equation. Delivering 1500 watts of AC power requires pulling a massive, sustained amount of direct current, or DC, amperage through the battery cables. A purely resistive heating load placed on a low-voltage 12-volt architecture forces the system to pull massive current. This moves the primary point of failure away from the inverter itself and directly onto the DC infrastructure connecting the battery. An inverter successfully outputting 1500 watts does not guarantee that the 12-volt battery, wires, and fuses can survive the thermal stress required to supply it. Using the boiling water trick as a baseline for system safety is a dangerous misconception. An electric kettle is a purely resistive load. This means it uses a physical element that resists the flow of electricity to generate heat, and it pulls maximum power continuously until the water boils. Unlike a refrigerator compressor or a power tool that cycles on and off, a kettle provides zero rest periods. The electrical components have no opportunity to shed heat or recover. The inverter is responsible for translating the 12-volt DC power from the battery into 230-volt AC power for the kettle. It acts solely as a converter, meaning it cannot create energy on its own. Every single watt consumed on the AC side must be forcefully pulled from the DC side. If the kettle demands 1500 watts, the inverter must extract the exact equivalent from the battery. In a standard home, drawing 1500 watts from a 230-volt wall outlet requires about 6.5 amps of current, a highly manageable load for household wiring. Translating that exact same 1500-watt demand to a 12-volt source forces the required current to skyrocket. Boiling water instantly transitions from a mundane, everyday kitchen task into an extreme stress event for your off-grid components. This graphic shows the basic electrical formula for calculating current: power divided by voltage. Plugging in our 1500-watt kettle and 12-volt battery gives us 125 amps. But 125 amps assumes a flawless zero-loss conversion. Inverters operate around 85% efficiency. Adding that efficiency penalty to the denominator pushes the actual current draw to nearly 150 amps. To understand the physical scale of 150 amps, consider a car battery. That is roughly the amount of current required to cold start a vehicle's engine. But instead of cranking for 2 seconds, the system must sustain that massive output continuously for the minutes it takes to boil water. Sustaining that current forces the internal heat sinks inside the inverter to absorb rapidly accumulating thermal energy, pushing them to their maximum cooling capacity. The mathematics prove that a 12-volt system is fundamentally disadvantaged for heavy heating loads. The nominal voltage is simply too low to deliver high wattage without resulting in severe current. That 150 amp calculation remains a best-case scenario. It relies on the assumption that the battery perfectly holds 12 volts under extreme stress.
This graph shows voltage sag. When a battery is hit with a massive discharge rate, its output voltage drops. As voltage drops towards 10.5 volts, the system adapts. This creates a destructive feedback loop. The inverter pulls higher current to compensate. For lead-acid batteries, this triggers the Pokert effect. Available capacity shrinks, the voltage curve collapses entirely, risking sulfation damage. Modern lithium iron phosphate batteries handle the voltage sag much better, maintaining a flatter discharge curve. However, the intense internal heat from the 150 amp draw often triggers the battery management system to execute an abrupt emergency shutdown to prevent a fire. Pushing pure resistive loads on a 12-volt battery actively alters the battery's internal chemistry profile. It accelerates internal wear, causes rapid capacity loss, and guarantees a sudden system failure. Beyond the battery and the inverter, the physical bridge connecting them faces the same thermal assault. The thick copper wiring and the metal terminal lugs bear the absolute brunt of the load. All physical wires have innate electrical resistance. As electrons are forced through the copper, this resistance acts as friction against the flow of current. This formula shows the thermodynamic reality. Heat equals current squared times resistance. Heat generation scales with the square of the current. Doubling current results in 4 times the physical heat. As the 150 amp feedback loop escalates, that squared heat value becomes severe. Any minor resistance at the connection terminals turns into intense localized heating. This represents the most dangerous failure vector in an off-grid system because it happens silently. The inverter only monitors its own internal temperature. It will not trigger an alarm if the external battery cables are actively melting. In a 12-volt setup, using undersized cables or leaving a terminal loose initiates a rapid chain reaction. The insulation melts, electrical arcing occurs, and fires can start long before the water even boils. You cannot mitigate these extreme thermal risks simply by purchasing a larger inverter or installing thicker wires. The foundational architecture of the power system has to change. This chart shows the engineering standard for high-power off-grid systems, stepping up the nominal system voltage to 24 volts or 48 volts. By applying that same 1500-watt load to higher voltages, the required current drops from 150 amps at 12 volts to 75 amps at 24 volts and down to just 37 amps at 48 volts. By doubling or quadrupling the system voltage, the required current is proportionally slashed. The power demand remains the same, but the delivery mechanism becomes vastly more efficient. Because heat scales with the square of the current, dropping the load down to 37 amps causes the thermal friction to plummet. This effectively eliminates the exponential threat of thermal runaway melting the battery cables. Higher voltage battery banks also experience drastically less voltage sag under load. This perfectly stable voltage entirely prevents the destructive high current feedback loop from forming, preserving the battery's lifespan. Asking if a 12-volt battery can successfully boil water is the wrong question. True system design prioritizes thermal safety and efficiency over simply powering an appliance. For purely resistive heating loads, a higher voltage architecture is the only mathematically sound choice.